Good evening, and welcome to Creative Broadcasting, the station of unlimited possibilities, presents Creating Your Seat at the Table with your host, Ashley Little, as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Ashley Little. A little bit about myself: corporate professional by day, entrepreneur by night, 5-time best-selling author, CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, LLC, owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting, and co-founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP. Tonight we have an amazing special VIP guest by the name of Dr. LaTina Epps Thomas. A little bit about her. Dr. LaTina is a naturopathic doctor, experienced certified yoga teacher, corporate health and wellness educator, author, and public speaker. She is the founder of Authentically Living Natural and Wellness, a successful alternative medicine practice in Memphis, Tennessee. Dr. LaTina has garnered acclaim for her success in helping numerous athletes and clients achieve their health goals through healthy lifestyle changes and yoga. Her passion to help others stems from her own struggle with an eating disorder. Throughout her life, she fought a lone battle with anorexia. She won by changing her mindset about herself and about food while incorporating the healing benefits of yoga. This put her on a path to better health and healing for herself and countless others. Today, Dr. LaTina is a highly sought-after instructor and speaker by numerous Fortune 500 companies while also running a thriving telehealth practice. When not practicing yoga or making herbal concoctions, Dr. LaTina enjoys traveling the world with her husband and relaxing with her two furry babies, Kitty and Max. Welcome to the table, the amazing Dr. LaTina Epps Thomas.
Thank you, Ashley. Yay, Kitty and Max got a shout out.
Yes! I love it. Yes. I am excited to have you at the table tonight, and I know you're going to share some wisdom and knowledge with my listeners. So please tell us more about your entrepreneur journey.
Wow. Okay, so everything kind of started actually becoming a naturopathic doctor is kind of like, I kind of say this is like my third lifetime or my third skill set that I've gotten. It kind of all started with when I was younger, I was modeling, and that kind of put me into touch with how I became a professional with the whole eating disorder game. And then I decided that, I couldn't continue those unhealthy lifestyles and that unhealthy life choices. And I ended up becoming a yoga instructor through numerous journeys, and I loved it. My students would come to me, and they would have these issues where I could help them structurally, but I knew that there had to be a better way. And taking a pill and it being a quick fix was not the way it was going to work. And I kind of grew up with a mom who studied Eastern medicine, and she also was very much into natural herbs and things like that. So it was kind of already in my blood. Well, after that, I decided, hey, you know what, I need to do something better. And I went back to school to become a naturopathic doctor. And between teaching yoga and becoming a naturopathic doctor, I am trying to touch the world with a health message here, Ashley.
I love it, and you are doing great things. So I want to commend you for creating this space, Dr. LaTina. And you're also very passionate about helping others stemming from your own struggles with eating disorder. So let's talk more about that, about your passion.
Okay. Well, as far as the eating disorder part comes, honestly, it really came from not having self-love, right? I really thought that, the thinner I was, then everything would be wonderful. Everything would be perfect. And I would be able to, keep that boyfriend from cheating, or I would be able to, be a better student and all of that stuff. And it came from the fact that I felt like I needed to control everything in my life, and that I didn't want to be a disappointment because I really was a huge people pleaser. So I was in high school, and part of this is in the book, The Health Coach Collective. My story is there too. But I was in high school, and being the only person of any color in my high school in a rural school in Wisconsin, it was kind of difficult. I grew up. I'm a mixed woman, and my parents taught me to really celebrate my black side as well as my white side. And, you know, they really told me how special I was and I could do anything in the whole world. And, you know, my parents were very encouraging. The problem was that specialness, when you're a teenager, you just want to fit in. And that specialness made me feel like I always had like the spotlight on me because I didn't look like anybody else in my school. Like everybody else had, you know, the blonde hair, blue eyes, or, you know, the long straight hair, and here I am with the, you know, the thick curly hair, and I didn't look like any of them. While I was able to connect with every group, you know, the nerds, the cheerleaders, like I was friends with everybody. I never felt popular enough. I never felt smart enough. I never felt pretty enough. I never felt good enough. And apparently all teenagers have this, but, you know, for me, that my experience was I'm the only one that feels like this. So what can I do to change myself? And I ended up having an eating disorder. I started with anorexia, and it led to bulimia because, you know, you could only survive on a few, you know, apples and a little snack cake a day before you gorge yourself. Well, that's not going to get me skinny. So then I had started with the bulimia part of it, and that kind of became a cycle of me thinking I'm in control of my eating and feeling invincible when I could, you know, have just that apple and I could ignore the gnawing in my stomach because I was starving. And then I'd feel like I was in control, but really I was so far from being in control, it was ridiculous. The food was in control. So I really tried to...
Go ahead, LaTina.
Well, I was just going to say, so now I really, from those experiences, they really helped shape me to understanding that it's not about that, it's about self-love. I didn't love myself the way that I needed to love myself. I said the words, you know, everybody says those words, I'm great, I love myself, I'm wonderful, blah, blah, blah. But do you really believe it? Do you really deep down feel it? And I didn't really deep down feel it. I felt like I didn't want to disappoint anybody, and I just wasn't living up to all of the expectations that I thought that they had on me, which they didn't really, but that was in my mind. So now I go out and I really try to help people with the self-love, because you got to change your mindset about yourself first before you can even change anything about your health or anything else in your life.
And that's so important. And I just want to thank you for sharing your story, right? Because you just never know who's going through the same thing, and that's why it's so important for us to share our stories, because I think a lot of people see all the great things that people are doing, but they never know the backstory, right, or the journey or some of the things that they have to go through or struggle with, right?
Absolutely.
So what are some strategies you would give to listeners who are struggling with eating disorders? For that listener right now, that's probably either people know, or they might be struggling in silence. What are some strategies you would give to listeners?
Well, the first thing I would say is you really can't do this alone. You do need to talk to somebody, and that needs to be somebody who is a professional that can help you with understanding that it's not about the food. It really is about the control, and it's about really finding self-love. The other thing is that one of the things that I did to eventually get to the point where I had that self-love was I went to counseling twice a week for months. It didn't happen overnight. I went for months. And I come from a Christian background. I come from a praying background, and I absolutely believe in prayer. I am a Christian woman. But I think that in our community, I think we need to stop telling people you just go pray about it and leave it at that. I think we're doing a disservice to people who have some real issues like eating disorders or mental health issues or anything like that when we tell them, oh, everything's going to be okay, just go and pray about it. Well, yes, pray about it, but then you need to take those other steps and talk to a counselor, because God made counselors too, just like he made a naturopathic doctor like me, or he made a medical doctor or a dentist. He made counselors as well to be able to talk to about how we're feeling that can maybe shed some light on it. The other thing is, besides knowing that you need to go talk to somebody, knowing that it's a control issue, it's not really about the food, is start doing things that make you feel good, like paying attention to, go outside and find activities that make you feel good, like go play. I'm a big believer in just going outside and playing. I don't know who that person was or who they are that told us that when we hit a certain age, we have to stop swinging on swings and running down hills and playing, but they lied to us, because we need to go out and have fun and play. When you see kids, they're not thinking about anything but how much fun they are having outside playing. And I think that's what we need to do too, as well as, just really begin to focus on not only what makes us feel good, but start loving yourself. Start telling yourself every day when you look in the mirror how beautiful you are and how amazing you are and how intelligent you are. And I do this every day with a prayer. I say this prayer that, God, help me to see how beautiful I see my beauty the way that you see my beauty. Or God, help me to see my intelligence the way you see my intelligence. God, help me to see my worth the way you see my worth. And what I've been doing is really just writing down those things that I'm really good at. What am I really good at? Make a list. Everything else will fall into place after that when you change your mindset about yourself. Everything else will fall into place.
Yes, and the key thing is that mindset and just loving yourself. And thank you for sharing that advice and letting people know you can't do it alone. Everybody needs somebody, and like you said, somebody that's certified, somebody that knows what they're talking about, right? That specializes in it when you're going through these different things. So we talked about mindset a lot, and a lot of that was the reason, as we talked about earlier, that got you through your struggles and the different challenges that you had to face was about your mindset. And I think sometimes people don't understand how important that mindset part is to us and our environment and all of that. So can you talk more about how changing your mindset pretty much changed everything?
Well, I can. For me, once I realized that I'm worthy and that I'm a princess, and I started realizing that I deserve the very best from myself, but I also deserve the very best from the people that are in my life. I deserve the very best from the food that I eat. I deserve the very best from everything that surrounds me. And if it doesn't serve me well, then I need to dispose of it. It does not have a place in my life. So by having that type of a mindset, not only was I able to have a healthy look on food, because now I look at food as, is this worthy of me eating it? And if it's not, then I don't eat it. And with that, I ended up losing over 35 pounds just from changing my mindset about myself and having that self-love and changing my mindset about food. But it goes further than that, because when I do health consultations with people, one of the things that I think about in the questions I ask, I want to deal with their disease process, but I also want to know what's going on emotionally and mentally with them, because all of those things really do affect our bodies and whatever could be going on, whether it's a sleep issue, whether it's a hormonal issue or diabetes or heart disease or something like that. Sometimes it really does start with there was an emotional issue that started first that led to the disease process that they have now.
Yes, and that's so important, because I wanted you to talk more about that, because I think people don't really understand how that can change everything. Once you get in the right environment, you change that mindset and you really focus on what you want to do and how you can come out of it, right? Because the struggles that you went through, right? Some people might would have gave up.
Yeah, and honestly, to be very honest, there were times where I thought about it. I mean, I think everybody goes through it, and it's funny because, on the outside, and I like I said, I do talk more about this in the book, but on the outside, everything looks, wonderful, and you're leading this charmed life. But in reality, you could be dying. I was dying inside, and nobody knew it, because I didn't love myself. I didn't love the environment that I was in. It was a toxic environment made out of unhealthy choices of my own doing. And it led to me having to take a step back and say, what am I doing with my life? Like, I can't live like this anymore. And really telling God, I'm done. I can't. Like, either you take over and take control, or I can't do this anymore.
And I'm so glad that you shared that too as well, because I'm not telling everybody who to believe in, but I believe in God, and you do as well, right? And that helps you through that season. So it took your faith as well to know, even when you want to give up, that you could still push through, right?
Well, it did, and there was a time where I was flat on my face, screaming, God, why are you giving this? Why are you putting so much on me? People always say God will only put so much on you that you can bear. And I was like, I can't bear it anymore,
right.
I can't do no more. I'm done. Like, what are you doing? Because I'm not this strong. I don't need to prove that I'm this strong. I'm done, and the problem was I wasn't really giving up the control. When I stopped and really gave up the control, I literally, as if you and I were talking, I heard him say, okay, now watch me work. And that was the beginning of everything that changed in my life.
And you see what all of that turned into, right? Now you're sharing your story. You're an author. It led to so many different things, and that's why I want listeners to know to not give up during the process, to not give up during those seasons, because there's always something on the other side. And Dr. LaTina, after that, you were able to share your story, write your book, speak about it. It's so many things that season manifested.
Yeah, and, it's funny because once I started to share my story, I saw God. I mean, God has just been opening up doors that I was like, what? This is amazing. Like, things are just happening so quickly and so fast. And after struggling for so long and trying to figure out, there's got to be a purpose for what I'm going through. And I truly believe that. I truly believe that everything we go through, whether it's a health issue, whether it is something mentally, emotionally, whatever the case may be, I really believe that we go through things so that we can help somebody else along the way once we're out of it. And that's what I've been doing, is really just starting to share my story. And initially it was a little bit, it's a little scary, being that vulnerable and telling people I was at that point where, I didn't want to live anymore. Who wants to say that? Who says that out loud? But once I've been saying that, I've had so many people that have come up to me and said, oh my gosh, like, I felt the same way, or I'm struggling with this now, and can you help me with this? Thank you so much for sharing your story, and I'm going to have my daughters read this, or whatever the case may be. And I'm just humbled. I can't believe that I'm able to do the things that I'm able to do. And I thank you. I thank you for letting me hang out here, with you at the table. This is awesome.
Yes, and I'm excited to have you here because this story is powerful. So, Dr. LaTina, you are the founder of Authentically Living Natural Health and Wellness. So tell us more about your company and how we can support it. Okay,
so ALN is kind of the short version of it. Really is my baby. It is a telehealth practice, so I do health consultations. And the great thing is that with telehealth, I can be anywhere in the world and still talk to somebody and help them and have a consultation with them as if they're sitting in my office. So that's the beautiful part of it. I could be on the beach 1 minute and be like, oh, wait, I got a consultation in, an hour, and, stop and get prepared and hop into the room and talk and figure out what the disease process is, and then I can go back out and do what I need to do. whether that's hanging out with my family or being in the middle of a seminar or something. So I do that as well as I speak. I do a lot of health and wellness education for various corporations around the country. I love it. My passion and my goal is to touch the world with the health message. And so I love getting in front of people and speaking and seeing that little light bulb that clicks in their head when they're like, oh, in fact, yesterday this just happened. I was doing a diabetes prevention workshop, and the lights were out in the whole building. The coordinator asked me if I would, would I mind, what did I want to do? And I said, you know what, let's just roll with it. There's a reason why I'm here. There's a reason why this is happening. So somebody needs to hear this information. And after about 45 minutes, it was an hour long, after about 45 minutes, the lights came back on, and I had 35 people there who were shining their phones with their flashlights on me so they could see me give this information, and they were like hanging on every word. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, I'm truly just a vessel, and everything that's coming out, half of this stuff was in the PowerPoint, which was a pretty amazing PowerPoint, I must say, so myself. But the other half really just came organically from the energy and the questions from the people that were there. But imagine if the lights hadn't gone out and I just did my PowerPoint, maybe it wouldn't have been as impactful for those particular people who were sitting there that it ended up being. And afterwards, I had about 8 people come up and tell me, I'm struggling with diabetes, I need your help. And if I had walked away and said, no, I can't do this, what would have happened? So I love those kind of moments because it shows me that what I'm doing is right on target. As long as I remain the vessel, it's right on target. So anyway, I do that. I do corporate speaking, as well as I still do some private yoga instruction. And I love that. That'll always be one of my passions. I've been teaching for almost 14 years now. And I truly believe that we're supposed to move. And I feel like if you can breathe, you can do yoga. I do webinars, and I do a lot of public workshops here in Memphis, Tennessee, where I'm located. They're free. Most of the time they're free. They're out in the public. They're either on, CBD oil, or they're on essential oils, or they're on natural versus synthetic vitamins and minerals. They could be on anything that people come up to me and say, hey, I need some help with this, or I have questions about this. So yeah, that's kind of what Authentically Living Natural Health and Wellness is about. I have a Facebook page that I post a lot of just information, whether it be mindfulness information, emotional information, or physical information. And, I'm on Instagram, and Instagram's a little bit more informal, so you may see a few pictures of Kitty and Max on there as well. But, those are my little furry babies. They're the only babies I got, so you may see them on there, and people get to know them very well. But, yeah, that's me, and I'm just blessed that I've been able to do this because it's not work to me. It is truly just a passion.
I love it. So definitely go support Dr. LaTina's amazing company, and definitely reach out to her and connect. She's definitely someone to know. So Dr. LaTina, let's talk about yoga. Let's talk about, how yoga has played a big part in your lifestyle changes, right? We talk about it in your bio. We talk about it throughout the interview. Can we talk more about the impact that yoga has had on you?
So one of the great things about yoga is, there's a few things, but one of the things I always say when I'm about to teach a class, I will say, there's a few things that are important about yoga. Number one is to really listen to your breathing. Notice that you're inhaling and exhaling, and when you do that, you will find that when you're in stressful situations, or you're driving in traffic and people are crazy, or you're sitting in your car listening to the radio and somebody pulls out in front of you, and you were having a good day and now they seem to be making your day really bad. If you stop and just breathe through it, I know it sounds, for some people, they're like, whatever. I have you try it. If you breathe in and then exhale slower than your inhale, you will stop the firing of those synapses in your brain, which put you in fight or flight mode, and you will actually be able to think clearer. You'll be able to calm down. So that's been big, because when I get stressed out, I take a step back and I may stop everything and do 5 to 10 rounds of breath before I even begin to speak again. And you tend to diffuse a lot of situations by just taking that step back and taking those deep breaths in. So that's helped. But the other thing is that with yoga, you learn how to listen to your body and what your body is telling you. And if it's telling you something is not right, you listen to it, and that may mean you need to move to a different position, or taking it off the mat into the world. That may mean you need to move yourself out of a different situation. But it's helped me to connect with my body in a very healthy way, as opposed to looking at my body as a cause of pain. I now look at my body as a cause of joy and happiness, and I'm strong, and I'm able to, go do yoga on a paddleboard, or I'm able to go run or jump or, crawl around with my nieces and nephews on the ground and have a great time with them, and I'm not in pain, and we have, and I'm the auntie that's, nobody else is going to do that, but I'm going to be rolling around on the grass too, so, but it's really helped me to connect with, that love for my physical body, as well as quiet my mind when I'm having those thoughts of, I can't do this, or yes, I can. It helps you to take a step back and really evaluate and be able to focus on what's important at the moment.
I love it. So listeners, definitely, Dr. LaTina has told us the ways that yoga has helped her. So for people who are listening that might have, want to try yoga, I think you should jump out there and try it and see what happens. I love that you shared how it has helped you, Dr. LaTina, in every area of your life. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to say this. There's a lot of people that think they can't do yoga because they can't touch their toes. Touching your toes is not the object, or not the end all, or even the journey of yoga. Really, if you can breathe, you can do yoga. I have people that come into my class for the first time, and they're 70 years old. And and they may have to start in a chair, but I tell them, if you can breathe, you can do yoga. It is, and it's that imperative and that important, especially with the stressed out world that we live in today.
Yes. And thank you for sharing that to the people that might have had some fears or some doubts about that. So thank you for sharing that to our listeners that might have had some, concerns or didn't know if it was for them or not. So
yeah, absolutely.
So let's talk about your new book. Congratulations again on your new book. So let's talk about more about your story and how we can support it.
Yay, well, thank you. Oh my gosh, it's been a whirlwind since the book has come out. I've had a couple of book signings, and in fact, tonight before I came here to the table with you, I had another book signing with a book club, and the orders have just been coming in. So everybody, you need to be ordering, because Christmas is coming up, and they make great presents. That I'm telling you, the gift of health keeps on giving, right? It doesn't just stop on that day. It is something that keeps on giving. And in the book, there's all kinds of really great strategies on how to live a happy, healthy life. I was able to collaborate with some amazing, amazing women. Some of them are also doctors, as well as some health coaches. And we wrote this book to really put our story out into the world on strategies that we use to have that happy, healthy life. There's a chapter on gut health. There's a chapter on a detox, and mine is on self-love. And so there's something for everybody. And I've actually had men who have been reading this book and saying, hey, my son needs to read this book. So it's not gender specific. It really is for everybody. So you can go on my website and get the book, and that is alnhealthandwellness.com. It's real easy. You can just click on there. The ebook is out. The physical book is out. And right now I'm signing all the books. So if you want me to put something special on there because it's a present for somebody, you can always just add that in the little comments, and I will do that. And Ashley, let me tell you, there have been so many people who have said, this is a Christmas present, and I need you to put it to this person. And then they say, oh, wait a minute, and I need one too. So
I love it. So get the book, because this is in high demand, and Dr. LaTina has stated they will make great Christmas presents. So please go support her and get her book so you can hear more about her story.
Yes. It's my journey of how I grew up as a biracial woman, how that affected my life, and how I didn't even really realize that affected my life so much until just a few years ago, really, just about 4 years ago, I really began to understand how it affected my life. In fact, if anybody has watched the show Mixed-ish, Ashley, when I tell you that show, when I see that show, I'm like, this show is speaking to my very soul. I'm just like, this show is exactly everything I went through as a kid. I commend. I mean, when I see that show, I'm just like, every time I see it, I call my mom. Mom, did you see it? This is what I was feeling like when I went through it, So
yes. So I asked all of my guests this question, Dr. LaTina, and you've built multiple tables for yourself. So how did you create your seat at the table?
Wow. So, basically I saw the health need, and I saw that we were killing ourselves not only with stress, which is where, the yoga part comes in and the meditation comes in, but we're also killing ourselves with all of the medications that we're taking. And we feel like, I feel like people are not taking personal responsibility for their own health, and they're not putting their own health in themselves first. And that comes with having that self-love. When you have that self-love, your health is going to be number one. You're going to, instead of saying, I can't afford to have a naturopathic doctor, or I can't afford to go get those organic fruits and vegetables, you're going to say, I cannot not afford to do it. I started seeing people, like I said, taking all of these, quick fixes with medication, that the medication, all it was doing was really just helping with a symptom, but not really addressing the root of the problem. And I saw that in my own self with health issues of myself that I had, that I was like, there's got to be a better way. Instead of my doctor telling me, well, we've done everything we can, so when you have pain or when you have it, when something is going on, just call my nurse practitioner and she'll write you a script. What? That's not the end. Like, there's got to be something better than that. So I went back to school to become a naturopathic doctor. In fact, I went back to school with my mom, and we both graduated as naturopathic doctors. And because I wanted to show that there is a natural way that you can deal with health issues, whether it is diabetes or heart disease, which are so rampant right now. It's like an epidemic, and it's killing our people. And there are natural solutions to those things. The medications that they're taking really are just actually causing more issues, because you've seen those commercials. You take one medication, and then you've got to take something else for the side effects from that one medication, and then you end up taking a series of medications just to deal with something that didn't even get to the root of the problem. So I created my seat at the table by creating my own company and saying, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do something better, and I'm going to help people. And this is the way that I'm going to do it. And that is through natural solutions for dealing with life, for dealing with health and wellness, and living an authentically natural life.
Because you have created your seat at the table, multiple seats, built your own table on top of that. So I love
ma'am.
that. So on our journey, and everybody has a process. And some people don't like the process, some people do. And we've talked about your process throughout the interview. So what did failure teach you on your journey?
Failure taught me that it's not the end, that this really truly is a journey, and that, you know, it may not be, I think a lot of times we look at, we have this end goal in mind, but I really think it's what we learn along the way in that journey, because, you know, that goal, once you reach that goal, then what happens? Well, then you have another goal. But if you look at it more like, okay, that's a stepping stone. I reached that. Now I'm going to continue on the journey, because there's so much more for me to learn, and there's so much more for me to do. It taught me that, once again, this is not the end. Failure is not the end. You're not a failure because you failed at something. That was just a lesson you learned, and you keep it moving and you keep it going. But it's not a person that, you know, that has like destroyed you. Not at all. It's really there just for a lesson for you to learn, and then you can keep it moving and find another way. There's always another way on the journey. And it's just a journey. That just may mean you take another path on the journey to where you're trying to go.
I love it. So what did success teach you, Dr. LaTina, because you're very successful?
So a few things, actually. Success has taught me to be humble, even more humble. I truly am just a vessel. And as long as I keep that in mind, God continues to give me these amazing healing protocols to help people. He continues to open up the door. He continues to speak through me. And that's really what I want. You know, before I do anything, I always pray, hey, you know, God, please speak through me so that everybody gets exactly what they need out of whatever it is I'm doing. And so it's taught me that. It's taught me, you know, to be humble. It's taught me to be grateful. It's taught me that my lesson, the things that I've gone through, the disappointments that I've gone through, the heartache I've gone through, the health challenges that I've gone through, are really to help other people. And as long as I share my story, I'm able to do that. And it's also helped me to realize it's given me freedom. Like, you know, I'm able to travel the world. You know, I'm able to do those talks in California or wherever I am, and still have fun while I'm doing it. And it's given me freedom to be able to spend more time with my family and my friends. So, yeah, success is great. Everybody should have it.
I love it. I love it. So tell us this, Dr. LaTina, what can we expect from you the rest of 2019? We're in the fourth quarter, getting ready to go into December. I know you're going to finish it strong. So what can we expect from you the rest of 2019?
Wow, that's a good one. So I will be doing more book signings. I am taking a little break because I also think that in this journey, you know what, it's really important to rest. That's one of the things that I say every time I do a yoga class. At the end of it, I always say, we need, you know, let's regroup with our mind. And we're so focused on being busy, and adding more and having our to-do list have to-do lists that we forget to take those few moments to really allow our minds to rest. And so I plan on doing a little bit of resting. I am going to Palm Springs, and I'm just going to hang out with the family for a little while, have a birthday that's coming up December 3rd, so I'm going to do that.
Yes. Love it.
Happy
early birthday.
Thank you. But then after that, I'm going to continue writing. I have got another book that I have been working on for the past 3 years, and I now have it in my spirit to really birth this book out. So I plan on finishing up the book. I just met with the editor this week, and we will be getting that together for the first quarter of next year. I am working on putting together a seminar where it is going to be a citywide seminar. It's not just going to be the kind of the local little ones that I have. It's going to be opened up, and it's going to be for everybody. Hopefully, y'all can come see me and some other speakers as we are talking about natural solutions for health and wellness, whether it be self-care or self-love or, physical health and wellness. I'm working on that, putting some stuff together for that. So yeah, it's crazy. I can't believe the holidays are like right here. I mean, Thanksgiving is next week, and I am so thankful. I have so much to be thankful for, and I am so thankful. I cannot wait to share with my family all of the things that I'm thankful for, like we do every Thanksgiving. So, yeah.
I love it. I love the holidays as well, Dr. LaTina. So excited for you and all the great things that you have going on. Super congratulations in advance in your book, signings, and all the great things that I know you're going to continue to do. So congratulations in advance.
Thank you. And we'll have to talk again.
Yes, we will. Yes, we do. We will be talking again. And will you please tell our listeners how they can follow you and connect with you on all social media platforms?
Absolutely. So on Facebook, I am at ALN Health and Wellness, and the and is spelled out, so it's Health and Wellness. On Instagram, I am LaTina_Thomas. And my website, and if you go to my website, it has all the social media connected to it, but my website is alnhealthandwellness.com. So if you go there, you can also check out the different services I do, the different webinars I have. You can actually connect with me if you need to have a health consultation and you are ready to really get to the root of whatever the problem is that you have. My specialty is autoimmune diseases. Since I was diagnosed with one last year, it has kind of become my specialty out of necessity. So you can connect with me there through either the website or the links of all my social media are on the first page of the website as well.
So please follow her and connect with her. As I stated, listeners, in the first beginning of the show, Dr. LaTina is definitely somebody to connect with and somebody to know who's doing amazing things. She's definitely a trailblazer. So, Dr. LaTina, thank you for taking the time out of your very, very busy schedule for coming to the table. This has been an amazing interview, and I cannot wait to invite you back to the table.
Well, I absolutely appreciate it, Ashley. It is always so wonderful to speak with you and to see all of the amazing things that you're doing. I'm excited to continue to see the things that you're doing as well. And, hey, I'm trying to follow in your footsteps and do a TV show. So, that's another thing that happens to be in the work, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. So
yes, we have to talk. We have to talk and connect. We got some work to do, Dr. LaTina. We will be connecting, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And the good thing about it, before we get off, and we can talk about it offline, I live in Nashville, Tennessee, and you live in Memphis, Tennessee, so it's not that far.
Hey, now. Uh-oh. I think we're about to take over the world, Ashley.
I love it. I definitely look forward to continuing to work with you and collaborate with you in the future.
I am looking forward to working with you, too, Ashley.
Awesome. So I would like to give a special thanks to Tammy Collins-Markey and John Schamberger. I would also like to give a special thanks to author Kimberly McLemore, as well as my intern, Sarah, from Tennessee State University, and my other intern, Vontaria, from Winston-Salem State University. You all may follow me on Facebook at Ashley Little and on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Creating Your Seat at the Table, where Ashley speaks with corporate professionals, celebrities, entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers who are transitioning or have transitioned to entrepreneurship.